A while ago, we told you about 10 devastating nuclear events and accidents. Included was the story of Stanislav Petrov, the man who single-handedly saved humanity from nuclear annihilation on September 26, 1983. In a very short time frame, the fate of the world was saved by Petrov's quick thinking. But history is littered with these singular, world-changing events. American history certainly no different, and there are many incidents that could have drastically changed or even destroyed America. Altered versions of these what-if events are a popular genre of science fiction called alternate history. To help visualize their alt histories, authors often supply maps of the alt USA, and, well, that's precisely what we're going to take a look at in today's video. Warning though, we are going to have a lot of spoilers. Number 10. The Man in the High Castle. The Man in the High Castle is a TV show based on Philip K. Dick's novel of the same name. In this universe, history diverges in this story when Roosevelt was assassinated by Giuseppe Zangarast in 1933. This was based on a real event, but in our history, Zangarast missed FDR and killed Chicago Mayor Anton Cermak instead. So in this history, Roosevelt is killed, and without him, America suffers greatly through the Great Depression and becomes extremely isolationist. This allowed the Axis powers of World War II, Nazi Germany and imperialist Japan, to become victorious in Europe and in the Pacific. By 1945, the Axis powers have invaded North America from both the Pacific and the Atlantic. A Nazi atomic bomb in Washington, D.C. forces America's surrender, and the occupation creates the division of the United States between Germany and Japan. Much like how in our timeline, Germany was divided into the East and the West. The events in The Man in the High Castle take place in the 1960s, and maps show that Germany and Japan have split America between them, with a small neutral zone separating the two powers. Number 9. Revolution. Revolution was an American post-apocalyptic NBC TV show that takes place in 2027. In this universe, a mysterious 2012 event called The Blackout caused all electricity to permanently cease to function. The show, produced by J.J. Abrams, followed the survivors as they deal with the consequences of a world without electrical power. After the blackout, America descends into chaos and fragments as technology reverts back to pre-electricity, steam-powered tech. Most of the action in the TV show takes place in the Monroe Republic, which is made up of Northeast America. Monroe was able to gain power after he set up a tyrannical military dictatorship that takes away the guns of the people. The West Coast is dominated by the California Commonwealth, and Texas exists as a separate republic, which is kind of pretty much on par for the course. The Southwest is abandoned to the desert, and a re-emergence of a nomadic lifestyle takes over in the Midwest Plains nation. Number 8. Southern Victory. Celebrated science fiction author Harry Turtledove created an alternate universe called Southern Victory. In 1997, he released the first of 11 alternate history books, How Few Remain. In these books, history diverges during the American Civil War on September 10, 1862. In real life, on this day, a Confederate messenger lost top-secret order 191, which outlined the South's invasion. With these secret plans, the North was able to check the invasion and slog on to eventual victory. In the alternate universe, the plans weren't lost, and this allows the South to successfully launch a surprise invasion and defeat the Union Army. Eventually, the South captures Philadelphia. Capturing a large city enables the United Kingdom and France to ally with the Confederate States of America, forcing an end to the war, with the South declaring independence from the United States on November 4, 1862. On the map, you can see how America wasn't able to afford buying Alaska from Russia, and the Second Mexican Empire, which at the time was still ruled by the Emperor of Mexico, crumbles into poverty. In our universe, the Emperor of Mexico ruled Mexico until he was killed in 1867. In Turtledove's history, the bankrupt Mexico allows the South to purchase the northwestern regions of Sonora and Chihuahua, giving them access to the Pacific. The series continues, with North and South being mortal enemies who ally with other world powers to fight each other for the next 100 years. Number 7. Jericho. In the CBS TV show Jericho, a shadow government plans a coup via a nuclear attack on 23 major cities in America using small bombs smuggled to their targets in cargo vans. After the bombs detonate, civilization breaks down and the American government is completely destroyed. The first season of the show dealt with a small town as it tried to keep order and its citizens alive during the aftermath of the nuclear attack. The show pulled in low numbers and was cancelled after only one season though. However, fans of the show revolted and started an online campaign campaign for CBS to do a second season. Interestingly, and it makes sense in the context of the show, fans sent nuts to CBS. Eventually, over 20 tons were mailed to the network. This online outcry was an unprecedented display of passion in support of a primetime television series. CBS caved and made a second season where it was revealed that civilization had returned, but the coup planners had only succeeded in seizing Western America while Texas became independent. That seems to be a theme in these sort of alternate history things, and the Eastern USA stopped enough nuclear bombs that some form of federal government actually survived the WMD attack. Even with the successful Nuts viral campaign, CBS still cancelled the show after its second season. However, the universe lives on in comics, which revealed that the east and west coast of the USA fragmented into smaller nations, while some part of America was occupied by UN forces. Number 6. The Handmaid's Tale. Celebrated author Margaret Atwood first published her book The Handmaid's Tale in 1985. A 1990 film adaptation of the same name was released, and in 2017 Hulu adapted it into the critically acclaimed series. In Atwood's America, a polluted country is racked by falling fertility rates which cause huge civil unrest. A staged attack wipes out the president and most of the federal government. In the chaos, a Christian fundamentalist movement calling itself the Sons of Jacob seizes control. Some surviving elements of the government flee to the west, where America still exists, while east of the Rockies is now ruled by a new government called Gilead. The new Christian theocracy decrees Baptists are heretics and brutally suppresses its followers, causing much of the American South to be in continuous revolt. Gilead is able to keep the remnants of America and the world at bay by threatening to use nukes that they seized after the coup's success. A number of areas are radioactive, implying that there was nuclear sabotage or that Gilead demonstrated its nuclear might at some point. Condemned criminals and opponents of the new regime, which are often one and the same, are sent to these areas to clean them up. The reality is, though, that these areas are so contaminated that this is just a death sentence. Number 5. Dies the Fire. Stephen Michael Sterling's Emberverse series spans 40 novels, with the first book, Dies the Fire, being released in 2008. More installments are expected as the series chugs right along. In the Emberverse universe, a mysterious event called The Change alters the laws of physics, throwing the world into chaos. After The Change, modern technology stops functioning, throwing the world back into the Iron Age, with people arming themselves with swords and bows and arrows. Large population areas collapse when food runs out, and from the ashes of urban centers emerge large cannibal groups that create death zones. From more rural areas, city-states emerge. This is the universe that Dies the Fire sees for post-apocalyptic America. Number 4. A Canticle for Leibowitz. Walter M. Miller Jr. first published A Canticle for Leibowitz in 1959. The award-winning book is considered a classic and has never been out of print. The book takes place 600 years after a horrible nuclear war which sparked a movement to destroy all knowledge called the Simplification. During this movement, all books are destroyed except for some hidden away in a Catholic monastery, the Abbey of St. Leibowitz. This is located in the deserts of the American Southwest. After all knowledge is wiped out during the Simplification, America reverts to tribal feudal societies. Sometime in the 600 years after World War II, the Catholic Church relocates from Rome, Italy, to New Rome, somewhere in the former United States. Surrounding New Rome are a number of other Catholic papal states. Also emerging out of the embers of Western civilization are the empires of Texarkana, Laredo, and Denver. Back at the Abbey of St. Leibowitz, the monastery keeps its vast collection of pre-war books and knowledge alive by painstakingly copying them by hand. And it is from these books that civilization is reborn. Number 3. The Hunger Games. Suzanne Collins released the first book of her Hunger Games trilogy in 2008, and the novels were adapted into the blockbuster series starring Jennifer Lawrence as the story's heroine, Katniss Everdeen. Over their cumulative worldwide releases, the 4 movies pulled in almost $3 billion, so we're guessing you've probably seen at least one of them. The Hunger Games takes place sometime in the future after a great war. Rising sea levels have swallowed up vast parts of North America, leaving a new nation called Panem to rise. This dystopian nation is divided into 12 districts that each specialize in specific goods or services. A lot of the story takes place in District 12 or D12, which is thought to be in the coal-rich Appalachian region. D11 grows grain and D10 raises livestock. Both are very large given their tasks of feeding an entire nation. Close by is D9, which which processes the food. D8 produces and treats textiles, while D7 specializes in forestry. D6 specializes in research and development, while D5 does genetic research. D4 is on or near the ocean, while D3 works with information technology, and D2 specializes in weaponry and training peacekeepers. D1 produces luxury goods for the capital district and has a diamond mine, possibly the now commercially closed Kelsey Lake Diamond Mine. The secret rebellious District 13 is hidden away in bunkers thought to be in the northeastern part of America. Number 2. Crimson Skies. Jordan Weissman and Dave McCoy created the Crimson Skies universe, first for a board game that was released in 1998, and then a video game franchise produced by Microsoft Game Studios beginning in 2000. History diverges from our universe when, in the 1930s, a series of deadly diseases devastate America and the country becomes increasingly isolationist to the point where the federal government devolves all power to the states, leading to the balkanization of the United States into a series of smaller regional states. With no federal government to pull the nation together, interstate highways decay while at the same time aviation technology really takes off. With a focus on air travel, roads and trains are abandoned in favor of the skies. With so many city-states, there are many grievances which quickly turn into open war. From the chaos of near constant warfare, large groups of air pirates raid commerce and other settlements. Number 1. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has been airing on AMC since October 31st, 2010, and is based on a comic book series of the same name created by Robert Kirkman. Even with declining ratings over the last couple of seasons, the show was renewed for a 9th season, and Forbes' Paul Tassi has talked about how the series could catch up to the comic books by season 9 or season 10. After that, Kirkman hopes the show will diverge from its source material, which it has already started to do, given a few major cast and character shakeups. In this alternate reality, America has been overrun by a zombie virus which reanimates the dead. The story starts off with the main character, Rick Grimes, waking up from a coma to find the world overtaken by the undead. He and a group of survivors first go to Atlanta, and then, after meeting another group, head to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., which is the general area around which the show now takes place. The main locations are the Alexandria Safe Zone, south of the capital, the Hilltop Colony of D.C., and in the urban core of the city, Ezekiel's Kingdom. They fight against Negan and the Saviors, who are based east of Washington, D.C. at the Sanctuary. Everything outside of these areas is more or less abandoned and pretty much just given over to the Walking Dead. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe. Brand new videos just like this every day of the week. And if you're looking for something else to watch right now, why not check out my other channel called Biographics. We do biographies of notable people from the present day as well as history. Please find a link to that on the screen now as well as in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching.